Well, hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we do have balance update for Count Nefaria and Shathra. And for a bit I actually wondered should I even make a video because effectively Kabam's doing nothing and I think that is the best way to describe it. So there are no new buffs, no balances, nothing really updated or announced in this post. This is just a large nothing burger of a post, but the reason why I did end up deciding to make this video is quite simple because I do think that, quite a few people do look forward to the balance updates just so they know whether these champions do not get tuned down and whether it's quote unquote safe to rank them, even though I think a large segments of community just kind of go with it because again, balance program seems to be doing like that has to be the best job at Kabam. Like absolutely. It's like, because leader balanced, serpent balanced, Shathra and Nefaria balanced. Like everything's balanced, unless Kabam releases something so crappy that it gets like memed all over the place. And even in cases sometimes when they release something so crappy that it gets memed all over the place, uh, realistically, as long as the champion doesn't suck completely in every area of the game, they're not gonna update the balance. Like if they release a mediocre defender that's bad on attack, that's fine. Mediocre defender, bad on attack, no change needed. Like, Destroyer, for instance. He's kind of cool. He's almost good. He's balanced. Could be good if they put a bit of love in him, but no, balanced. Leader, kind of decent defender. Very, very situational attacker, balanced. The only times Kabam seemingly do balance updates is if they release a champion that's intended to be attacker but completely sucks, like Silver Sable. Now she's decent, and yeah, that's just about it. Like North Star for most part is an attacker. Balance up. Now he's better. So I think that's just about the only time when they actually do anything to the champions. When they release an attacker that absolutely sucks is when we might see an update. Obviously, that's not the case with Count Nefaria and Shathra. So, and this time around, you can't even really get mad at Kabam because I do think both of the champions are just about fine. Obviously, as a community, we would have loved to see Count Nefaria have some way to deal with Unfazed, especially on the Kabam's newfound love to completely mess with the masteries. We have champions that ignore stand your ground. We have champions that switch off willpower. We have champions that switch off inequity and dexterity and basically, unparryable champions. But God forbid, there's going to be a champion that somehow switches off unfazed. So there we go. Count Nefaria was designed to be a science attacker targeting two core mystic threats in power gain and regeneration. We're thrilled to see summoners capitalizing on Count Nefaria's unique combination of immunities and resistances to tackle the hazard shift variations, and we're also seeing the power of this ionic overcharge abilities shine in matchups with threatening power gain and regeneration. Currently, Count Nefaria's attacker usage and effectiveness are in healthy spots across all game modes, having landed as a versatile and sustainable attacker who excels against a large group of mystic defenders. We're also happy with his defensive performance so far, with his effectiveness fluctuating from season to season. No changes incoming to Count Nefaria. Straightforward, and again, aside from the despair thing, let's face it, Count Nefaria is a very good champion. And Shathra, similarly, I don't think Shathra is like busted by any means, and she's a very good versatile attacker. Enough so that somebody, me, took her to rank 4, and I have been loving her. I have gotten great use out of her, mainly in lines where she has absolutely shined there. She seemingly just answers a ton of the new warm-up nodes. So the Balrog's Wasp God was designed to be dynamic mystic attacker, rewarding high tempo playstyle and hunting buff heavy matchups. Since the release, we're happy with how summoners have used her atrophy and power steal, having emerged as a strong attacking option into a group of high impact cosmic defenders, notably Maestro and the Serpent. She's also good against Thanos, by the way. Serpent, while Shathra's highlight matchups are cosmic heavy, the uniqueness of her damage sources and the spatial control that her heavy into special loop greatness allows her to comfortably execute her loop against a large pool of opponents. Shathra's defensive performance also so far reflects her targets with low impact and threat, as long as the attacker remembers to swat away the eggs and wasps on them. We're happy with what I've seen from her across the board and won't be making any changes. I kind of agree. And wasp now, but Shathra is genuinely quite good in many non-cosmic matchups, which I love for a Mystic Champion. Like, you know, she can do Onslaught very comfortably. She can do like a ton of random matchups just because nobody's immune to her form of damage. She might not be like the fastest, but you know, in Battleground she gets 2 charges from the get-go, and I genuinely think she is a well-balanced champion. However, here is again, somebody, oh, you always have to complain, but it genuinely does feel extremely underwhelming, like compared to how many buffs we used to get, how large of a variety champion. Again, Leader and Serpent both perfectly balanced. It still makes my head fry. I know it's not about this post, but it just goes in the idea that balanced program is just a waste of time. It's like, I swear somebody's getting paid to do absolutely nothing all day there. It's like we're getting like 1 champion balanced out of 5 that should be. So there we go. No changes incoming. We're currently working on batch number 1. And that's, again, like, they announced Patriot tune-up is on the way, but it's probably going to happen, like, May. And should have more details on the first ever set of updates. A reminder that Patriot is in this set. With our next round of reviews. The original batch release announcement can be found here. And effectively, it just says that Kabam's effectively now going to be updating things, like, twice a year. So they could announce that a champion that they released sucks, but they're not going to update it until half a year later. So, you know, potentially close to a year since the champion has been in the game. Which I kind of think defeats the purpose of the balancing program, to be honest. But okay. You can expect communications about Scream and Jack-O-Lantern's balance review towards the middle of March. And again, with Scream and Jack-O-Lantern, realistically, towards the end of the year, Kabam did a better job. I think Scream's fine. There's nothing really wrong with him. I think Jack-O-Lantern's fine. I think there's absolutely nothing really wrong with Jack-O-Lantern either. So it's likely going to be, again, one more of those no changes coming type of posts. So there you go. This is the peak of powers MCOC balance team has amassed within 10 years of this game existing. If 3-4 years ago they could do 3-4 buffs a month, then now, and the excuse for them, by the way, with the balance update was that, you know, if we're not balancing champions, we're gonna be buffing champions more. Right, so effectively, not changed, nobody's getting buffed, nothing's happening. Next post in the middle of March, which probably means at the beginning of April, but there we go. Right, let me know what you guys think, and see you later. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about